Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's been quite the few days, Richard. It wasn't a great. I mean, it wasn't a great result for the neutral. It was a great day because you enjoyed a hell of a match. But if you're Croatian like me, you did not enjoy it, not one bit.
Yeah, the 2 p.m. kickoffs have delivered, haven't they?
Yeah, they
From
have.
that regard, I mean, Slovenia, Serbia the following day was obviously dramatic as well in its own little
Yep.
way. But yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about, is it?
Sadly, no. I would rather talk about them, but I think the name of the podcast and why we're recording it points otherwise to the
Yeah,
other
gives the
game.
game
But
away.
yeah. So Croatia uh, obviously lost their first game to Spain, and we were heading into the game against Albania, saying, "Hey, we didn't put away our chances against Spain. Let's put them away against Albania." Game kicks off, we concede,
Yeah,
and we almost concede again. Second half, some youngsters come in. We actually put pressure on them, put 2 goals past them very quickly. Could have even been 3 goals in 2 3 minutes, but and then we drop back, and the same guy that scored the own goal, Jasula, scores the goal in the 95th minute for Croatia to only get 1 point against Albania
yeah. The first man ever to score first substitute ever to score in both ends in a game at World Cup or
and get a
Euros,
yellow card.
and then it was the latest ever equaliser at the Euros for 24 hours.
Goddamn.
So at least Yuki Jovic took that record, I suppose.
Yeah. True, but yeah, it was I mean, okay, let's start with the lineup. So I had a BBC Live 5 interview heading into the
Mhm.
match, and I was like, and they asked me about Brozović, and I was like, you know what? If he performs today, if he shushes the critics, it's gonna be fine. He didn't shush the critics.
Nope. And I mean, see, we can talk about sort of like how defensively open things were all game, but it's just
Oh,
kind of showed if Brozovic isn't there, I don't want to say you're essentially playing with 10 men, but you may as well just be having an attacking midfielder, the opposite side of
yeah,
midfield. And I know sort of indicated this last time. Not having a like for like replacement for Brozovic is costing
yeah,
big
it
time.
is. Yeah, but yeah, that lineup. So obviously, Guardiola went back to center back. Perisic started at left back and played the full game, right? He didn't get substitute. No, he actually got
It got
substituted in
at the
the
end, yeah.
yeah, in the 84th, but still that's almost the full game. But I was very surprised to see Perisic at left back. I, I, if you're gonna start him at the wing. Like
Mhm.
what has Sosa done to Dalic to not even start a game?
I mean,
Because he hasn't.
he wasn't very good in the
No,
time that he was
yeah,
on, but yeah, I mean that's not the point, is it? He is an
no, that's
actual
not the
left
point.
back.
Yeah, he's an actual left back. And another thing, why did Petko start?
Well,
Especially after everything that happened, you would expect, oh yeah, Budimir's nailed on now. Nope.
nope. I mean, he didn't do anything, Pekovic.
No, no, no.
I think it's fair to say. I mean, I think he indicated what he was asked to do was to just do his normal Pekovic thing, just sort of be drifting about a bit at the front and occupying people and creating space. But no one was there to run into that space. And I mean, one of the things, like taking off Meyer at halftime, for example, obviously watched
Yeah,
the game back, and he was fine in the first half. He was drifting about across the pitch a lot because there wasn't the service there weren't the runners, but actually the quality of balls he was putting in was decent,
yeah.
and his work rate was decent. Certainly compared to other players on the pitch at that time.
Very good
And
compared to
and
others.
yeah, and I've seen quite a few people saying, well, actually shouldn't be in the starting lineup for next time. Well, yeah, I'm not really seeing anything from that particular game to justify him being dropped.
Yeah.
Um, Brozović is your first issue. Maya is not an issue. I mean, actually, we saw Maya against Macedonia in almost as a Brozović role, sort of. And okay, it's very different standard of opposition, but you could have shifted him there and had that deep playmaker to help cycle the ball around and allow Modric to play higher up the field.
Yeah,
it's just it was weird.
It was very weird, and to go over that first goal, which is just it's very similar. That game is not very similar, but in the terms of that goal, it's very similar to the Canada match in Qatar. The cross comes in, so Guardiola goes over, and there's a lot of space left after Guardiola goes to whoever crossed the ball. I forgot to the winger, and then Brozović just doesn't react to it.
And Brozović doesn't react to it either, really.
Yeah, he does even worse.
Yeah, which is, I mean, let's be fair to him. He's, more than due a mistake in Croatia colours. Just for how good he's been for so long. It's just obviously a pity it was here and not in a game that didn't matter.
Yeah. Luchi obviously recognized that space and just nodded it enough, even though Livakovic should have done better, way better. It just seemed like his mind stopped and he was like, "Oh, no, I don't."
Yeah.
And then obviously the rest of the first half was just us passing the ball around, as I commented on Twitter, for funsies, just for fun. You're just passing the ball to the right, play it back, to the left, back, to the right. Oh, you lost it. All of a sudden, Albania are going with 4 players forward, and you almost concede again.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
where we were saying about Pekovic, he didn't make the runs that he needed to do anything in the first half.
No, and Albania just set up they just set up narrow, especially after they scored the goal. Narrow, compact, do not let anything in, and that's what they did. And we didn't do anything to play around that. We didn't. None of the players were really going around, changing positions, trying to make some space. Everybody was just standing around, passing the ball, and hoping that something would open up with a miracle.
And the only thing that did was Albania were happy to let Brozović shoot.
Yeah.
there was a comment on the UK commentary. I can't remember who was on it now. After Brozović took a shot, they said, "Oh, he's just taken the shot so that people come and mark him next time to open up space for others because we know he's not going to score from there." All right?
Yeah.
Things like that. It's like, yeah, we all know he's not very good at that side of his game. So why is he taking it on
the shot
to do that? Yeah.
Yeah. That shot especially, I remember it because I was just like, "Yep,
yeah,
this is us. We're not doing anything." Brozović is just like, "Well, fuck it, just have a go. You might as well because you're not gonna have a go any other way."
Yeah.
And was the chance, the huge chance, the Livakovic, it was in the first half, just before the end, the Livakovic saved. Yeah. Brilliant save by Livakovic. In some way makes up for not saving the first chance because it could have been 2-0. We could have been we should have been 2-0 down. No questions asked.
That's 2 games in a row at the very end of the first half.
Yeah.
Just switched off. And that is concerning.
And I will get to the last few minutes because that's far more than concerning. So second half starts, as I said, we don't actually we make 2 substitutions. Sucic and Pasalic come on, Brozović and Meyer, as you said, come off, and immediately the game looks different. Sucic wants the ball, tries to go forward. He's trying something. Yeah,
I think he certainly made the most of his second half. There's no doubt about that. He was just direct.
And he was his one and only aim was just go forward.
Yeah, and that's what they needed. The whole game was just someone crashing the box.
Yeah.
And with Brozović on, obviously he's going to sit behind and let other players do that. There was no one doing that and creating an additional threat and overloading the defense. And Sucic did that. Pasalic, to a lesser extent, did that. He was a bit quieter, but I think Sucic made the case for him to start next time. Absolutely,
no questions asked. Pasalic did his job. Just be in the box, try to find the end of the cross and put it in, which almost happened like 1 or 2 times from him, but just obviously the header was off. And then Ante Budimir comes in. Instant impact, assist, and you can give him the second assist essentially because he did pass to Sucic, which then gets ping-ponged into the goal. So Budimir
making the space
in 6 minutes that he was on the pitch, he made 3 clear chances.
Yep.
The one, he also made another one for those that don't remember or just didn't watch the game. He made another one immediately after the first goal, right? So in between the first and the second goal.
Yeah,
so he could have been very easily 3-0 up.
Yeah. More in 6 minutes than Petkovic in 60. Which, okay, he was isolated against Spain. There's no doubt about that. But it was a different task in that game. And I think, to be fair, we probably would have thought, okay, Petkovic, it probably is more the game for him than Budimir, but we're emphatically wrong. And I think the thing is, we know with Petkovic, when he's on, he's on. When he's not, he's kind of useless, unfortunately. And that kind of seems to be the version of him that's come to this tournament so far.
Yeah.
We know he can change that with just one touch, but I think now his minutes are from the bench, and Budimir for the rest of this tournament is the undisputed first choice.
Hopefully that's not just the Italy game.
Yeah, hopefully more than one game.
Hopefully. And let's get to the bad part. So Croatia somewhat continues to put pressure on Albania after the second goal, and then in the last 6-7 minutes we just let Albania have a go at us. We just defend. Actually, I cannot call that defending because that Hoxha chance that he drives in, there are 3 players going after him, leaving space on the right side and behind them, behind themselves, which is in the 92nd, 93rd minute.
Yeah, I mean,
unacceptable.
The big problem with Croatia's setup in that black is not necessarily a problem with the setup in this game. It's a setup from the Spain game. Winning 2-1 is great, but you still, on 3 points with a -2 goal difference. If you lose to Italy, it's -3, -4, let's say, and you're potentially out. So they had to go to make that a 2-goal cushion, really.
Yeah.
And it could have gone as it did for Turkey against Georgia. The attack, you're able to counter and get the 3rd goal and give yourselves that cushion and sort the goal difference out, because that's ultimately, Croatia are always going to be 2nd or 3rd in this group, and you have to make sure the maths are going to work for you in that respect. Now, see, it's different.
And now
Italy's must
and
win.
now I'm seeing some calculations coming up if Croatia gets 2 points. So if we draw, I'm seeing calculations if Croatia gets a draw against Italy, and I'm like, if we get 2 points from this group and we go through, I don't want to go through.
Yeah, that's the advantage Croatia have is Group A in terms of Hungary and Scotland play each other, and both are carrying a pretty pants goal difference. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
If that's a draw, then your first target is to be on 2 points with more than -4 goal difference. Which a draw with Italy will leave Croatia on.
Yep.
The problem is you then have to rely on every other group not doing that, and you can't. No. You can if you are Group C, Group D, Group E, Group F, and then you have 2 sides to beat. You can't if you're Croatia.
No, absolutely not. You have to win the early game. There's zero questions about it. That's a must win. But the good thing for us is we have a good track record against Italy. We've played them. We drawn 5 times. Yeah, 8 times. We drawn 5 times, won 3 times.
Yeah.
Lost 0.
So time for that to change.
Yeah, listen. Not now, please.
Yeah.
So the last time we played Italy was 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Last time we played them in the qualifiers for Euro 2016. Yeah. So hopefully that's not too much of a time that changes that much, and hopefully we can get a win. I just hope.
Yeah, Italy haven't been. I mean, they weren't great against Albania. Let's be honest. They were not great in the sense that England weren't great against Serbia, in so much as they did what they needed to do, and that was it. And invited the pressure, and you know they've done what they've needed to do so far. Against Spain, they weren't great either. But Spain, I think, probably had stepped up from the Croatia game as well a little bit. It's unfortunately it's must win, really.
It is.
Yeah, it kind of has to be because that will then take you through in second, which is
if Albania doesn't beat Spain.
Yes,
which hopefully doesn't happen.
Probably not.
Probably not. But with the way Albania can play, the thing that I was, surprised by the most was Albania, how quick they put pressure on you if you just make one bad decision, one bad touch. 4 players straight onto you, like in sync, absolutely, all 4. It's like their minds are connected, and they're like push, and they push.
It's that, and see what Hodge is offering as well to them coming in from the bench. I think he should be starting next game. You would hope if Silvino knows what's good for him, but you know he's going into games been very direct, and you know Italy had trouble coping with him. Croatia had a lot of trouble coping with him, so that's probably he's made his case for the Spain game. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah, and to get to their last goal, which is just life draining, to say the least. That defending again, that was I said just defend, just protect the lead. We did the complete opposite. We gave them almost 200% chances in the last 5 minutes, and obviously we paid the price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not forgivable, is it really?
Yeah, it really is. And Guardiola wasn't that good at center back, so right now I'm just like, I have no idea what lineup to choose.
I mean, I think it has to be Guardiola Sosa, Guardiola centre back, Sosa left back. I think. Yeah. Perisic didn't work really as a left back. He was impactful from an attacking sense, but from a defensive sense, no. Obviously there were issues. I think it's fair to say.
I think that's mostly because he's still not fully recovered from the injury, so he's still not going into duels. He's still not, he doesn't want that much contact, which obviously is gonna make an impact on your defensive ability.
And if you've not got Brozović, you need someone with that extra defensive sensibility. I don't think we're at a position where I don't think it would be helpful to go to Erlich in terms of, Brozović hasn't worked, Vardiol hasn't really worked. Let's try Erlich. I don't think that's a good idea.
I think that's good. Especially if he hasn't played a single minute up until now.
Yeah, so I think it has to be Sosa from that regard, because he gives you the defensive smarts that you want, but also he's a better left foot crosser.
And especially if Budimir is gonna play, and especially if Budimir is gonna play an attack. If Sosa's on in the starting lineup, Budimir has to be too. If Budimir is in the starting lineup, Sosa has to be.
Yeah, and while Juranovic was fine, I think Stanisic has to be.
I like Stanisic way more. Juranovic can come in if you need a goal, and then you just need somebody, to go up on the right and give you a cross and just try everything in your power. But currently, I mean Sosa is the only choice I would start, and Sucic. And obviously, it has been, well, not leaked, but there are talks that Erlich will start, as we just mentioned, that Erlich will start with Schutalo in the defense, and Guardiola will be the left back again, which...
No. I mean, Guardiola was fine against Spain. There's nothing against
he
that,
wasn't...
but the centre-back partnership wasn't great.
Yeah. And I mean, now Erlich was good in the Nations League games, but that was... what, 2 years ago? 2 years ago.
Yeah, and aside from that, you can't be going around having 5 different centre-back. You can't be going around having 3 different centre-back partnerships in 3 successive games. You're complaining about the defence not communicating right, not seeming organised. Well, you'd be looking at that.
Keep it the same, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It might not have been great, but it will improve as they play more alongside each other. And also,
and I mean,
now you're going to be a bit more savvy about what's covering the defense in terms of your fullbacks and not Brozović.
Yeah, but yeah, I do not. I hate that we're going like, oh, Podolski didn't work. Okay, Guardiola come back as center back. Oh, it doesn't work too. Erlich, you're just trying something new every game.
Yeah.
You tried Brozović twice. You tried Brozović twice. Doesn't work. By the looks of it, Sucic will start. We'll play a 4-2-3-1. So hopefully he's learned from that. But the defense, I think, I just don't like it.
No, well, I think there's plenty of reason not to like it at the minute.
Yeah.
It's just been too open. And
yeah,
fair play to Albania. I mean, they
identified
it. They were direct. They absolutely exploited it. And when they needed a goal, they made the changes that got them it.
Yeah.
Much as Stalic did, to be fair to him, the substitutions generally worked. There wasn't anyone who came on who was bad. But Budimir, Sucic changed the game. Hoxha and friends changed the game, and it's good. It's good coaching from both sides, really. Just Croatia didn't set up right again
for the second time in a row. But so it's not really positive, and not everybody in Croatia is now like, well, everybody in Croatia is like, well, we still have this much hope, but it's very, very slim even for me now. I'm just like, if you're gonna get it over with, get it over with.
Yeah, it's can you beat Italy? And
if you can, you can. If you can,
don't know.
Yeah, and it's really difficult to predict because obviously Italy are a good side. They're not bad. They're not great. They're a good side, and we're just a big question mark.
Yeah, it's just a whole maybe, and that is definitely the insight that everyone's tuning in for. But it's you can't make a firm prediction. Croatia had not played badly in respect of even you sort of look at the stats of that of the Albania game. They weren't terrible by any means. It wasn't the case that Albania,
no, especially in the second half.
Albania weren't unlucky to only get a draw. They could have taken the game away in the first half. There's no doubt about that. But there was lots that Croatia did that was good. There was lots that Croatia did that was good against Spain. But for whatever, if you are conceding goals in the first 10 minutes, then you're obviously going to have a problem. So there's two things. It's kind of paradoxical, really, is that one, you have to take out the defensive midfield cover because Brozović has just been anonymous. There's no real avoiding that. He hasn't been good enough, and his place in the starting lineup is gone on merit. The second thing is you can't concede early goals. You can't have the entire game state being dictated to you for a whole game, because at the end of the day, if Italy score in the first 10 minutes, they're just going to sit back. They do not need a win.
No. And the biggest problem with that is that our main goal, our main plan is stick with the ball, just play the ball, and just crush Albania into making a mistake and scoring that one goal, and then opening up the game. And instead, Albania scores first, and then breaking them down is way tougher.
Yeah, exactly. And fair play to Brozović. His contributions for goals were very good in terms of being able to be on shoulders and play balls around corners for runners coming on. That has been Croatia's problem the whole time. Like you say, they're passing around, and you're playing in front, and you've not got the runners. And Brozović facilitated that from other players, and that's what's got to happen from the off. But like you say, I mean, I don't think Croatia aren't favourites to get through in any way. As we say, a draw isn't going to do it unless, like you say, a set of very
the biggest miracle happens.
Yeah,
it has to be the biggest miracle to happen in the world for us to go through with 2 points and -3 goal difference.
Yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to say. Yeah, you can't. But another thing I wanted to say, Modric wasn't good.
He was better in the second half, I think, as most.
Yeah.
Where he's not had a good tournament, I think it's fair to say. But
in the first half, there were many balls where I was just like, why?
Yeah. I think the two things. One, obviously he's having to compensate for one of the triangle not being in form. But the second thing is, he was trying too much.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 times where he just tried to put through killer balls, just dinks over the top, straight through balls, which were just that little bit of weight off.
Yeah.
And he didn't look sharp.
No.
I think the best comparison I could put to it is like Albert Pujols when he moved from St. Louis to LA Angels in baseball. He just got to a point where his eye, in terms of reading the pitches that were coming into him, went that little bit. And once it went that little bit, his effectiveness was just gone. It was almost that with Modric. And I'm loath to sit here and say, okay, his eye's gone a little bit and that sort of thing he maybe can't do anymore, because at the end of the day, Carlo Ancelotti thinks he can spend another season, and I'm not going to disagree with Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah.
But on that evidence, you'd be like, well, yeah, it does seem like I don't think it was the case that he was seeing things that other people didn't see. It was the case that he wasn't quite able to execute what he wanted to do.
Yeah. Another thing, what was that? Oh yeah, I'm still baffled that Marko Pasalic or Piazza cannot even get a minute.
Yeah. But I mean, who are you bringing? To be fair, obviously Kramaric redeemed himself and wasn't good in that first half at all, but he gets goal.
Second half was very good.
Yeah, the right side of me, I think it's a bit harder to say, because it has to be Marko Pasalic, and that's the only option you can do if you want to do anything to go around the outside. But when you've got Juranovic on, you don't need that talent, because he's just going to gallop and cross, and that's his thing, which is great. But I think on Juranovic as well, what we didn't see him do too much of, is weighted to great effect at club level, is inverting much. His runs were always around the outside. He would be dragging himself onto the inside to look for balls, but no one was passing him, so he can't drive and change angles and put his opposite man off balance.
Yeah,
which if he can't do that, you're taking quite a lot out of his game.
Yeah. But Turina was okay. Another player that big run was just, I think, one of the main things why you want young players in the starting lineup, just because they will run, and I mean, they will run it. They will be the more direct than a Brozović.
Yes.
So we need that hugely.
Absolutely.
We need players to move around in the attack, because if everybody's just gonna stay, you're predictable. Albania, of course, knew what we were gonna do, and they just defended it. You just need to react, and
Plus,
you have
everyone
loads of
knows.
time to react. Yeah, everybody knows, and you
Everyone
have
we've done it for 3
loads of
tournaments.
time. And you have loads of time to react, even if you don't realize it straight off the bat, because I think we may make our chances pretty obvious how they're gonna go.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm trying to find another thing that I'm pissed about. Or have I mentioned all of them?
I mean, I think
Not
that
really sure.
covers most of it. I mean,
Yeah.
if to cover all of them, we need another 90 minutes, and I don't think we'll quite have that. But I mean, the focus is Italy now, isn't it?
Another thing, after the Italy game, after the Albania game, Dinamo's Twitter account says, what did they say? Like, great game from Arbor Hoxha.
Well, it was.
Boys.
Fair play.
It was, but boys,
read the room.
Read the room.
Fair play.
Read the room, and they not immediately. It took them like 10 minutes to change the tweet to new minutes for Arbor Hoxha.
Yeah.
Well, they read the room with a bit of poor reaction time, but they still read it. But my God, I was like, okay. I mean, good on him and good for you, but
Yeah.
I think your country goes ahead of your player.
Yes.
But yeah. Anyways, Gattuso was unveiled at Hajduk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I mean, we can talk about league stuff after Monday, probably.
Yeah.
I suppose that's it.
Listen.
We'll just do the bit that everyone wants to know. Yes or no? Do we think Croatia will reach the knockout stage? I'm going with no.
I'm going with mostly no, because I'm very pessimistic right now, and that's mostly good. Actually, no, it's not. But Hajduk, I'm mostly pessimistic, and we see that nothing has changed. So hopefully, but I was optimistic with Croatia for the past 2 games, and not great. So maybe it changes around. And Croatia has stepped. So the only thing that keeps me some hope is that we have stepped up when we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully Monday is the same. Italy can go through with 3 points. So Italy, please. I like pizza. Big fan of pasta. I think most Croatians are, especially us Dalmatians. So just give us a helping hand. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I think 3 points definitely be enough for any third place side to go through. That's a fair comment.
I wasn't expecting to be making a statement to Italy to please let us win after the first 2 games 2 weeks ago, but here I am.
Yeah.
I am on my knees. I'm begging. But I mean, so I think the expected lineup to just go through it is Livakovic, Stanisic, Šutalo, Erlic, Guardiol, Modric, and Kovacic as the double pivot we spoke about, which should have been, I think, the starting lineup for Albania. But of course, Brozović got in there, and if Brozović starts again,
yeah, buy your tickets home.
Yeah, just turn off the TV. You know what's done. It's done.
Yeah.
So Brozović, not Brozović, Kovacic, Modric. Kovacic, very good. I think once again the only bright side to the squad was Kovacic in the Albania game in both halves.
Yeah. I think the only 90-minute performance was from him. I think it's fair to say.
And same thing for the Spain. So he's the only guy that cannot be criticized after this tournament. And on the right should be Mario Pasalic and Luka Sucic. Or maybe Mario. I don't see this. I think Sucic will be the 10, especially after the second half against Albania. Even though some people have said that Sucic, he can obviously play the right wing, but I think Pasha should be a right, Sucic there in the middle, and Kramaric on the left, and Budimir in the attack.
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, I think it's harsh on Maya to be dropped. He's
Yeah.
not done anything wrong. But I mean, so as we've indicated before, really what Croatia needs is runners and passers. She's going to do that much more than Maya will.
Yeah, but I'm just, I don't have much hope because we're gonna play Budimir and we have nobody that can really cross the ball.
No.
So we're just hoping we're just hoping to go narrow and Budimir to do the same thing as he did against Albania, which isn't gonna be the same thing because this time it's Italy.
Yeah.
And it's not an Albania holding on to a lead. It's gonna be hopefully Italy doesn't hold on to a lead as Albania did. So hopefully we can actually defend for the first 15 minutes. Just a thought.
Yeah, just get 15 minutes into the game and have some sort of fluency about it. Yeah. And I mean, there's so many teams this tournament. I think you can say that for who've really done the damage to themselves early. Not just Croatia. I think it's fair to say. I think the other thing has been, obviously we talked about seen it talked about in terms of trait of long shooting. And things like that. I think that's something, again, Croatia kind of have to lean into a little bit because everyone else is, and also because it's adding a bit of variety, but it needs to be someone who has aptitude at doing it and not Brozović. And you've also
this whole episode is just shitting on Brozović. Well, meanwhile, I was heading into the tournament. People were asking me, "Well, does Saudi Arabia affect Brozović?" I'm like, "No, Brozović is Brozović. It's not gonna affect him."
It's affected everyone but Kante.
Yeah, I wish Brozović had the Kante mentality so he can just plop into the national team, no questions asked, and just does his job. And Kante has now 2 man of the match performances in 2 games.
Yeah,
which. It goes to show that playing in Saudi isn't that bad. And Brozović can do it if he wants.
I think Kante's the only.
He's the only one.
That. Mitrovic, Milinkovic, Savic, as well.
But you can be good if you want to.
The Saudi League said Brozović was Serbian as well, which.
Oh my god. That thankfully Croatia and Serbia are in a bad relation, so that's not gonna cause anything.
No. I mean, I think really what we should just hope for is the chaos outcome. If there's a way we can get Serbia meeting Albania at some point in the knockouts, let's get that.
Well, aren't Serbia and Albania organizing under 17 Euros or World Cup?
Under 21 Euros is apparently what they're on in 2028, I think. We'll see. I believe it's winner gets Kosovo. Is the stakes on it? We'll see. But yeah, it's that's going to go well. As long as we don't give Darko a megaphone again, we'll be fine.
We wish. Yeah. So let's turn to your side a bit. You're still in. You're on the same page. You're on the same page as Croatia. 1 point after 2 games. You have to win to go through.
Yeah, we won't. We won't beat Hungary because we don't have. Well, we do have right backs. We do have right backs in terms of Patterson and Hickey, who are obviously both injured.
Yep.
So we have Tony Ralston at right back, and Ralston is a high effort player. Obviously he's a Celtic guy, so I don't have too much negative to say about his application, but he is not at this level by a long shot. No. He could not cope with Musiala, which is fair enough. He couldn't cope with Vargas. He couldn't cope with Vargas. So I don't think he's going to cope with Szoboszlai.
No.
So
Hungary is a big disappointment for this tournament.
Yeah,
didn't we both put him through a second?
I think we did. Yeah,
I
think so. Yeah, but I think we can scrape a draw again. I think the draw and us going out as one of the 2 third place sides that don't qualify, I think really that's just classic Scotland.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
it's the most Scottish way to possibly go out. So we'll do it.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing maybe that we can touch on. Have we mentioned everything? We could go more in depth, but I really don't want to.
No.
Excuse me, Asia, but I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I could go at every single player's head, except Kovacic, Budimir, Sucic, and Kramaric for maybe, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. We don't want to provide you with more content. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks for listening.
That should actually be the
but,
finale. That's it. No thanks. No thanks for listening. No, we'll be back soon.
No.
Just
We'll see you we'll see you again on Tuesday when Croatia is kicked out, and we're just gonna be like, hi and hell, ladies and gentlemen. Croatia is out. We're now just speaking about the high and hell.
Well, Wednesday I want to find out. Wednesday I want to watch the Tuesday games will be good, I think.
Oh yeah, true.
Serbia Denmark will be an interesting game.
I mean, Serbia always leaves it to the last game, and they always lose. So
they always, yeah, exactly. We've not had Serbia just completely lose the head yet, and I think Denmark are the new Switzerland.
Okay,
let's see.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen against someone.
Yeah, who do you think is gonna win it now? After we're only missing one more game. Yeah, still Spain.
Still Spain.
We're missing one game while recording this. We're recording this before the Romania-Belgium game, so that's the only game we're missing.
Okay, Romania. I did say Romania were dark horses, to be fair, and I think on the evidence we've seen, if Slovenia get through, I would not like to get Slovenia in the knockout stages, just because they've been so direct. They were brilliant against Serbia. You know. And
they should have won.
The good players who were brilliant against Serbia, if that, no offense to the Piva Liga, but you know, it was a homegrown goal. And if they get Jesko firing, which eventually he will, you would assume, given enough games, then they're a real danger, I think, for anyone.
Do you think Slovenia can beat England?
I think Slovenia will draw against England, but I say that purely because
I have the same feeling.
A draw will get both sides through.
Yeah, it also gets both sides through. But I think
why wouldn't you just draw the game?
Yeah, and especially when Southgate plays his football, it's very easy to get a draw.
Exactly. So I think it's the most logical outcome for both sides for that one.
Yeah.
Plus, I think probably from what we've seen, the second place sides in groups A and B. Sorry, the third place sides in groups A and B are probably the ones not getting through.
Yeah. Ours is most likely to not go through.
And ours is Scotland.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Yeah. Cannot wait for the Nations League. That's our tournament.
That's our tournament as well. So
that's our tournament. That's the only tournament that where I can just be like, well, this is our level. If we beat we have Portugal in that group. Oh shit.
Easy.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, it's gonna be Croatia Scotland for the first place to get into the final four. And we're probably gonna be facing Bosnia in the final.
Okay. I know it's been hot over there, but there's no excuse for that.
It isn't. It really isn't, but it's very hot. Yesterday it was 38 degrees. Oh yeah, did you see that Dalmatia lost power yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. Most of Bosnia, Albania, Montenegro, the whole of Montenegro, I think, and Dalmatia and other parts of Croatia, but it wasn't good. The 2 hours, no power. I was sitting right here. I did an interview, and I'm like, my ventilator that's going on right here stopped, and I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
I go and I see, okay, the power's off. I go I open my door to see if the lights work in the building. They don't. I'm like, okay, so maybe there's no power in my town. Maybe no power. Nope. Try to go onto my mobile data to just see what's going on. mobile data doesn't work.
Yeah.
So for like 20 minutes until my brother called me from Zagreb and then told me the entire thing, I was pretty much like, did somebody drop a bomb? Did Putin finally do something?
No, just global warming.
Yeah, just global warming.
That's us rather than Putin.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully Croatia does something good, so I can finally have something positive to look forward to. To look forward to in that I'm speaking about the groups, not the group stage, the knockout stage. The heat is really getting to me, as you can see.
Yes.
But yeah. Anyways, you can sign us off.
Yeah. Oh, okay then. Well, yeah, I would say enjoy your football, but tune in for more stories of failure and pessimism over the next 2 days. And yeah, we'll catch you with the post-mortem. Bye.
I'm not even gonna add anything